Measure 4. And 1. Correction. Yeah, can you do more of that? What is the text here? Manataga inilida. My days are suffering. This phrasing we're talking about is not just to make it pretty. It's to kind of give that sense of suffering. My days, this kind of sense of, you wouldn't say, my days are in suffering. You would say it with kind of weightiness in your eye. There has to be kind of this almost melodramatic quality of it, okay? So that's what this phrasing is all about. It's to portray the kind of bleakness of this text. This is one of the first cantatas Bach ever wrote. They don't get any better in terms of happiness, let me tell you. 200 cantatas later, okay? Here's measure 5. Here's the bar before. And 1. That's it. I can hear some suffering now. Do you feel like you're holding back a little bit on that? You need to be much more soloistic on that. I think maybe it's because you heard me telling the sopranos to kind of lighten the sound a little bit. I think you just need to say finally an alto melody, okay? You need to put that kind of come in. It's almost like you're interrupting the sopranos, okay? So like, enough complaining from you, now it's my turn to complain, okay? Right, again, sopranos, Christine, ready, and 1. It's the same rhythm, isn't it? Half, or rest, half, downbeat. So this section gets a little muddy with all the counterpoint. So anytime you have hilft mir täglich, help me daily, he helps me daily is the text. Make sure we really hear that arsis thesis phrasing. Otherwise, this is the danger of Bach, is that is if you don't really take great care with the phrasing, it just kind of turns into mush. All right. In fact, there was people during Bach's lifetime. There was one of his former students who apparently was a bit of a disgruntled student, wrote this long diatribe against Bach's complexity and started this polemic debate of people writing back and forth. Bach never got involved in the arguments. He just kind of watched from the sidelines while people go back and forth. But one of the criticisms was this one former student of his felt that the music was too, he used the word turgid. But I think it's actually incredible. Now, centuries later, we actually find the music incredibly beautiful. However, it does require a lot from the performer to make it not sound turgid, but clear, and that partly is on our responsibility. Okay? So every time you see that, starting from measure 56, bass, tenor, alto, soprano, 59, then basses you started again in 62, 2 bars later, tenors you started again in 64, 67, altos, 68, always do that phrasing, okay? Don't feel like you have to, don't worry about overdoing it. I'll tell you if it's too much. Let's start 53, please. Yes?
In measure 19, we have a trill written in on our...
19.
Yeah.
Oh, you do have a trill there. Yeah, I'm in debate. I think let's come back to that. I think we might do that trill because that actually is a written-in trill. But we'll mess with that one later. Okay. Trills in the bass line can be a little messy if we're not careful. So here's measure 53. But thank you for pointing that out. Preschools. Ready and 1. The D. One of us, I can't remember who. Well, shall we all find out? We can do one at a time. You want to go first? I'm kidding. Actually, we can make this easier. The altos are singing your note on the note we did that bar.
Well, thank you.
All right. No point in putting any of you on the spot. Let's start, no good place to start. Actually, since we are stopped, measure 66 basses on these octave leaps in 66 and 67. Try not to get considerably louder on each of those. Okay, if it gets a little loud and we lose some of the other parts. It's very interesting music. But you have to we don't want to obliterate anybody. Okay, let's go back to 62, please. We won't rehearse that, just know that you need to be listening for the altos, and hopefully that'll be enough information you need to get that pitch. We're going to start at 62 with the basses. Tenors come in at 64, altos don't come in until 67, sopranos come in at 68. This is the second occurrence that feels to be okay. Ready, and 1. Anytime we talk about Marcy's thesis phrasing, after you get to the strong syllable, you need to pull back. Right? Don't stay at the loud dynamic. Okay? 62, ready? And 1. tenors. At that time, it sounded like we got the most, at least most of you got the D. So I just need much more leading into the downbeat tenors. That's that word streiten. We agreed yesterday because we agreed in the Mendelssohn as well to make that SH sound. We have to start it a little bit sooner so we hear that. Okay, bass is 72, tenor 73. Ready and 1. The key to make this work is that you do this, right? Otherwise, if you don't do enough, if you don't do this, you have to come down enough to do this, right? So make sure that you are preceding it with half, half. 70, what is it, 73? No, 72. 80 and 1. Sing-songy in here, but with the full texture, it'll actually help cut through a little bit. Why don't you try your bit in sopranos and altos at the 77? No, sorry, second beat of 77. The pick of the second and third beat of 77. And 1. So what's coming out here is Streiten. Really, otherwise it sounds like Streiten. Same thing I was just telling the tenors and basses, right? And 1. That was beautiful. Yeah, and you properly did the thing of not emphasizing the final syllable, Streiten. Very good. All parts, starting at 72 for your basses, 73 with the tenors, sopranos and altos beginning at a 75. Oh, and you have a trill here, right, sopranos?
Yes.
Right, okay. Here we go, 72 and 1. Some of you held on to the B. It's going to be Aufstreiten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be
so
it'll be 1, 2, 3, and 1. So you got to watch for that upbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that's let's take it please with the sopranos. It's 84. Bass and alto join at 85. And 1. 1. Without me shouting out beats this time, okay? Okay, and 1. Yeah, good, and thank you for, that's appropriate to not have vibrato on that last chord. Sopranos, could you use a little less vibrato on that long E natural in 86 and 87? It just draws a little too much attention to that note, and it's not really doing anything, okay? It's a little bit like, remember in the Anerio, Christus Factus Est, there was those couple places where we had long notes, and we didn't want to draw attention there. Okay, good, very good. Boy, only 3 words. You guys are learning this piece so fast.